Greetings and welcome to your destination. You've reached the Psychological Wellness Hub. We aim to help you build your knowledge and wellness around better understanding of mental health and psychological concepts. Today's topic is an expansion on the psychological wellness skill of hope. A part 2 in a series where we build further on the skill of hope. Please feel free to watch part 1 video of hope in the series, which prepares you for this video. Let's review places in which we can tap into hope. Things like material hope, Socratic hope, and audacious hope. Things like relational hope, restorative hope, and political hope, which all refer to evolving changes within a community as well as within spaces to create hope. Again, go back to video 1 if you need to learn more about those. Other places we can find hope include, but are not limited to, things like our relationships with people we care about and loved ones. Our everyday actions and intentions. Observing our environment, things like nature, landscape, sky, material possessions. Seeing the good and potential in our fellow human beings and our communities, our values, faith, morals, spirit, our self-esteem. But most importantly, it's already embedded in your psychological health. You just need to seek it out intentionally every day, little by little, one foot in front of the other. What are some barriers to hope? Here is a brief list of some barriers to hope. Excessive doubt, excessive excuses, saying I can't too much, living in the pity pot but not following through, excessive stress, rating how we feel in the moment as how we will always feel, forgetting that we don't always feel this way, that we don't always feel this bad. Negative thinking is not bad. It can help us. But if it becomes our dominant focus by our choice, then we live there. We don't go beyond there. Focusing on too much on our weaknesses, not networking or consulting with trusted others. Avoid learning more about and exploring hope. What are some ways we can tap into the resources of hope? Well, things like forgetting that some focus on weakness and pity can actually be helpful. Remembering to look for the light in the darkness. Remember, no matter how bleak a situation is, you can always find light. A glimmer of light, even if you look. And you can make that light bigger. Stacking hope on top of hope, step by step. What we're saying here is just kind of putting one layer of hope on top of another. So, for example, if you wake up feeling well, take use of that. Make advantage of that by eating nutritious. If you do that, take advantage of that by connecting with a friend. Take advantage of that by writing down some goals. Then prioritize the easier goals and put them into action. Identify what you're thankful for or grateful for. Take a personal inventory. Keep things simple, one day at a time, step by step. Relate to yourself daily. Connect with your support system. Contribute to your support system. Helping others and yourself in moderation. Structure that can lead to sources of help. Things like work, school, clubs, organizations, volunteering, exercising, and others. And study your hope and ways it shows itself in your daily life. Next, we're going to talk about some examples. I'm going to read some examples of individuals who have tapped into their hopes and their daily lives. Please note that these are not real people, but their stories represent real scenarios. Listen while I tell you about each story. Listen for the sources of hope while I read. Lastly, I will specifically point out some of the sources of hope for each example before moving on to the next example. Our first example is Eric. Eric is a college student. Eric works and does have doubts and reservations, but he combats these on a daily basis. Eric studies and works to get reasonable grades. He has hopes one day to become an architect. Eric reminds himself on a daily basis by placing pictures of structures that fascinate him in his room. Reminders. He rides his bike to keep regular and fresh air in his system. On his way to school, he makes time to look at buildings on the campus and buildings along the way. He spends time on sports teams to aid his confidence and build his physical health, which contributes to his psychological health. He also takes time to study advanced architectural concepts, which is not currently required as part of his coursework in his current college courses, but this is his way of challenging himself and fostering that hope. He listens to his favorite music while doing some of the activities mentioned earlier. Now, what are some of Eric's sources of hopes? What is he tapping into, and how's he making use of them? Eric is tapping into the sources of education for hope, visual motivation for hope, fresh air, athletics, structure, and music. In our next example, we're going to talk about Jen. Jen is a woman in her 40s who gets to work daily. Her source of hope is in her work and her family. She puts in her time at work feeling like it is contributing to her organization. She takes a personal investment in this. Her hope is that she can grow through this organization by being aware of her performance and value at every work task and social experience. She also uses her family for motivation. Jen does this by using images of her family on her desk, in other places, reminders inside of her phone, along with her hope at putting them together. She kind of wraps them all into one. Her gained hope from this assists Jen in working towards her dreams. Again, what are some of her sources of hope? Work, social contacts, community, family, memories, dreams. Let's move on to Mary. Mary is a single mother of 4 children whom are still young, still underage. Mary is challenged every day with caring for others and their needs. Mary creates structure in the evening to find balance of caring for the house, for her children, and for herself. She will usually accomplish a couple of things around the house as she gets the kids ready for bed. She will then put the kids down. After this, she'll put at least 15 minutes of exercise, even though she may be tired. Mary will not go to bed before calling a friend and having some good belly laughs about things that happen throughout the day. Mary will not go to bed without taking a personal inventory or doing something special for herself without any distractions. What are Mary's sources of hope? Structure, social contacts, family, humor, self-care, exercising, caring for others, and herself in moderation. All sources of hope. In our last example, we're going to talk about Stephen. Stephen is a single man who is an artist and also happens to be diagnosed with schizophrenia. He often hears voices and does certain behaviors that are seen by others as disorganized. He himself has a hard time staying organized. Stephen likes to respond to this by having a structured day. He tries to keep recovery oriented through deliberate actions. Stephen keeps a reminder on his phone with alerts to take medication. He has a daily medication planner to help him stay on point for each day with the right medications. Stephen goes to the mental health center where he and other consumers get involved in peer-run activities and classes. Stephen goes to different classes while he's at the center. He learns about coping through peer experiences. He does creative crafts and artwork in other classes. Stephen is also responsible for each class in keeping the list of consumers to help the staff stay organized as to who is participating. Stephen also teaches a class at the local community college for art expression. Stephen usually ends the day by attending an evening mass at his church because he feels it keeps him spiritually on track. Stephen hopes being involved to keep the ongoing joy and experiences in every day by being part of the community, sharing his art, and contributing to the learnings of others, as well as himself. What are Stephen's sources of hope? Caring for self and others in moderation, education, structure, community connection, trust in community, trust in self, education of others, contributing to the community through role activities, spiritual community, and maintaining his moral compass. We hope that you found today's topic was useful for yourself or for someone else. Let us know if it was by commenting below. Let us know what you'd like to hear about or what topics could be useful to you by commenting below, and we'll take it under consideration. If you like what you heard today and would like to hear more from Destination Psychological Wellness Hub, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This will help you get the newest content produced by the channel to you. Please tell your friends and family about this channel and share this or other videos with them on this channel. Encourage them too to like and subscribe. And as always, we hope your psychological wellness continues to grow with us in this community. Thank you.